know about cellular shades?
Yeah, so with our cellular shades, I know that they have the honeycomb design that's good for insulation. I think you have the double, the day and the night that you told me about when you first came in here. They have the self-leveling.
Yeah. So the big thing with cellular shades, y'all, is this. Temperature regulation and insulation are going to be huge for these. In the Southeast, they've gotten a lot more popular. It's actually one of the fastest growing categories. The big thing, though, is with this, we just don't have as much understanding on it in the Southeast. You have to really have a conversation with your customers about their benefits. First one being temperature regulation, insulation. The other thing, too, is y'all know that different window manufacturers now, your depths are different. The good thing about cellular shades is you have a lot more forgiveness when it comes to actually window depth. A lot of times you have to default go outside mount, but especially on an inside mount option, a lot more forgiving on the window depth minimum requirements, okay?
These are not easy to clean.
Well, I'm glad you let me that, Miss Sandy. The biggest thing that I tell people is do not introduce any moisture to them because, Mike, do you have any idea what you think these are made out of, my friend?
Almost like looks like paper or cloth-wise type of.
We call it a durable sprung-lace fabric. It is a fabric. A lot of people, y'all, they think they're actually paper. They're not. With that said, though, Miss Sandy, you have to be careful when you clean them. Because it's fabric, do not introduce any moisture to it. I'm not going to tell you people haven't put them in a bathroom, but you don't need to put it right directly next to a water source, okay? To clean them, you can use just a Swiffer. What I recommend, though, is take a vacuum cleaner, take your variable, or take your handheld, setting, put it on the lowest setting, and just clean it with your handheld attachment. That's what I would do, okay? The biggest thing, y'all, Miss Sandy, I'm going to take this from you real quick. When you're looking at this, guys, one of the biggest things I tell people is when it comes to our lift systems, okay, I want y'all to watch this. It's smooth and quiet. Of course, we have these in cordless, motorized, corded, but the big thing is that you see here, that's auto balanced. It's nice and quiet, okay? The other thing, too, is when I say auto balanced, I don't mean to pick on a level, but I want you to look at something. When you take this shade right here at the price,
Right.
our shade should never hang like that, okay? Another thing, too, y'all, Dustin, what's the street side color on cellular shades? You know, my friend?
I'm sorry?
Street side color on cellular shades? It's okay.
White.
It's white. We keep it uniform, y'all, because the good thing about cellular shades is there's a whole array of colors. From almost Home Depot orange to your most basic neutrals and grays and all that. Big thing, though, is it is going to be white on the street side, okay? And then another thing, too, y'all, we have single cell, double cell. The benefit of a double cell versus a single cell is you're going to get more temperature regulation insulation out of double. That's exactly what you've got, Mike. As y'all can tell here, the honeycomb that Dustin was talking about, a lot of people like to stack on this the way it looks. The big thing, though, is when you do have the double cell option, it's actually going to keep your house cooler during like the summertime and warmer during the wintertime, okay? And with that said, y'all can imagine over years when these hang, it's fabric, okay? It will flatten out over time. We use what we call a D-cell fabric. Can y'all see how that almost looks like a D right there? That helps it keeps its structure longer, okay? Now, I'll give that back to you, Miss Sandy. I will tell y'all this, when you start looking through here, when you order these, it's very, very simple, okay? The big thing you do is first, you're gonna choose basically your style. What style's talking about is, it's gonna be talking about your cell size, okay? So we've got 5 of them, guys. We've got a 3/8 inch, which is actually what you see right here. It's a smaller plate, okay? Miss Sandy, we've got a 3/4 inch, which is what you're holding. This is gonna be best for most windows, okay? And then we also have a 1.25 inch single. That's going to be for really large windows. That's a really, really large plate, okay? And then Mike, I believe, is holding, hold yours up, Mike. That's going to be a 1/2 inch double. We also make a 3/4 inch double, okay? A lot of times down here, you guys, people will go double cell because they really like to stack. They like the way that looks, okay? But the first thing you do is choose the cell size. I tell people 3/4 single is going to be your best bet. That works for most people, okay? The other thing, y'all, is the second thing you'll choose is you're basically going to choose your lighting options. We have sheer, we have light filter, and we have blackout, okay? You guys know what sheer is, okay? It's gonna let your most light in. When you go to light filter, it's gonna give you privacy, y'all, but it's still gonna filter your light. Now blackout, y'all, more than any other window covering in the industry, when you do blackout, it's gonna be as close to 100% blackout as you get. The reason why is it's got that silver material in it, that's Mylar, okay? Like I mentioned earlier, our cellular shades are always quiet. You'll get a little more noise out of these because it does have the Mylar in it, okay? And guys, if you're wondering about the sheer shades, most people don't buy just a sheer shade. They'll match it up with what they call a day and night shade here. So that's 2 shades in one, okay? Pull it down from the top. You've got just a nice sheer to let your light in. Now on the bottom, when you pull it up, you can obviously use a combination of both. But if you pull up on the bottom, you can put a light filtering shade down there. But what I tell people is this: if you're going to pay that kind of money for a day and night shade, okay, go ahead and put a blackout on the bottom, okay? Because when this is fully closed, whether it's for a bedroom, media room, anything like that, that's going to be perfect for that, okay? So that's, just to go back to it, that's what your shear is mainly used for, okay? And then guys, the last thing you're going to choose is when you go through here, you're going to choose your roof systems, okay? You do have cordless, you have motorized, of course we have cord loops. The biggest thing is, Mike, if you don't mind, give us a little display. Mike, Sandy, you both have a bottom-up display. So Mike, y'all know what a bottom-up display is. Press it up for me, Mike, or just push it up, okay? That's going to be your bottom-up. With a standard top-down bottom-up, y'all, what's going to happen is you can pull it down from the top. Okay, it's going to let your natural light in, but on your standard ones, you're going to have 2 to 3 strings that hang down in the middle, okay? But the benefit of a top-down bottom-up shade is that you let your natural light in while still maintaining your privacy. So it's a lot like this right here, but you don't have the shear, it's open, okay? Again, this is a day and night, y'all. What I like, we're the only ones in the industry to do this. They're called clear fit shades. It's patented by us, okay? What's the one thing you don't see hanging in the middle right here? Perfect. This is probably one of our most innovative products, if not our most innovative. We're the only ones that do this, guys. You have no strings hanging in there. Basically what it does is it's precision driven with the string. You can hang it inside or outside mount, okay? But what's going to happen is this pulls all the way to the side. It's a nice tight fit in your window. And again, it's an unobstructed view. And most of the time, y'all, I don't want you to get held up on your product specs, but most of the time you've got a 1/2 inch gap that you deal with, so it's about a 1/4 inch on each side. On these, you've got a total of a 1/4 inch gap, so it's an 1/8 of an inch gap on each side. So it's much tighter in your window, okay? The other thing too is, y'all, these are great on French doors. You have outside mount options that you can put it on. It's great for French doors because it doesn't consistently bang on your door. We even make these for skylights, okay? When you do them with skylights, instead of having the top down, bottom up feature like you see here, with the skylights, it's gotta be just a bottom up only, okay? Just because of the way gravity is, and your strings move in a little bit more. But y'all, if anybody ever comes in, they look at cellular shades.
Do those come in motorized or anything for like?
The clear fit does not, Mike. Now, if you do just a standard bottom up shade for motorized, absolutely. But with the clear fit, it doesn't. Now, if you do a standard top down, bottom up, it will. And y'all, if you're ever ordering these in Design Builder, which I know y'all are different departments, but choose the cordless option in there, and then you'll see clear fit pop up. But if anybody ever comes in y'all for cellular shades, and they're interested, show them the different types. You can, I can probably get y'all a sample of this, but your day and night's an option. Biggest thing is a lot of people look at the bottom up, but tell them the benefits of the top down, bottom up, and letting the natural light in, and show them this. This is actually y'all's display, so you can actually show them how good it is. So that's probably our most innovative product we have, okay? And once y'all choose those features, y'all, you can go through here, and this will give you your options for light filtering. Very easy to navigate your cell size, okay? Like 3/8 here. But you can see the other thing we do too, y'all, is we've got some pattern shades. We've even got now, we've got some, if I can find it for y'all, we've even got some of these now that are woven fabrics. Now the one thing I will tell y'all, just to point out real quick, on your clear fit now, you cannot do the woven fabrics. I think a lot of it probably has to do with the stability on the side. The other thing too is this is probably going to be more likely to fray on the sides if you're not careful. And so we do not allow actual clear fit shades to have the woven fabrics, okay? But y'all, you've got a wide array of colors. Again, just remember it's split up by light filtering, then it's split up by blackout, okay? Dustin, do you remember the material that I said was used for the blackout, buddy? It starts with an M.
Yep. I don't really remember, but I remember you talking about it.
Mylar. Just remember that, y'all. That's going to be your most accurate representation, okay? And one other thing that I'll tell you about the clear fit too is, like we talked about earlier, window depth can be an issue with your clear fit shade, okay? You have, especially with a 3/8 inch single cell like you see here, guys, you really don't need, you can go with as short as, with as small as about 1 1/4 inch window depth. So it's really, really good for that. So cellular shades, again, in the Southeast, they're not as well known, but if you tell them about the knowledge you have with it, okay, you talk to your customers, a lot of times you can talk them into it. So I know you said you had them in your, do you have them in your mobile home, Sandy? Yeah. Your motor home? Okay. Yeah, so guys, that's the cellular program. Super easy. Do y'all have any questions? One last thing I will point out to y'all, the 5 cell sizes I showed you. Guys, in the back of this book, it talks about your classic collection here. That is just a basic, just a basic cellular approach. That's bottom up, so you don't have the clear fit option the day and night. And that's also going to be what you, a 9/16 single cell, okay? So that's pretty close to 3/4. That's just a basic program, okay? So you're going to have as many size options.
And what's your starting price on something like that?
On this over here, it's going to be a little more than what you have over there. Yeah, it is. And, and I don't mind telling you, like we talked about the faux wood earlier, this used to be an extension of what you had on the aisle. That's changed a little bit now. But if you want your most size options, your most color options, and the most lift options you have, particularly the clear fit, you're going to want to go with your designer cellular shades, like your designer ones. But that's it, you guys. Like I said, if anybody ever comes in here looking for cellular shades, tell them about the top down, bottom up especially, and show them the clear fit, because that's really a game changer in the industry. But that's it, y'all.